There are very few careers in the history of American entertainment that have burned quite as brightly as Will Smith's. He went from a teenager rapping in West Philadelphia to one of the most bankable movie stars on the planet, all while making it look effortless and joyful and completely natural. He was charm itself, magnetic, funny, physically gifted, and possessed of a hunger for success that seemed to power everything he touched. For 3 decades, he stood at the very center of popular culture, a man the world simply adored. And right now, in early 2026, the truth about Will Smith's life is genuinely shocking, not because he fell, which he did, dramatically and publicly, but because just when it seemed like he was finally climbing back up, the ground shifted beneath him again. Born Willard Carroll Smith, II, on September 25, 1968. In West Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he grew up in a middle-class family and showed from an early age that he was wired differently from other kids. He was funny, quick, deeply social, and had an ability to read a room that most people never develop. He linked up with DJ Jazzy Jeff as a teenager, and the two of them recorded hip-hop music together that was light, clever, and wildly popular. The Grammy he won as part of that duo in 1988 was the first Grammy ever awarded in the rap category. He was 20 years old, and the world was already at his feet. But he spent the money as fast as it came in, and by 1990 he owed the IRS nearly $3 million. It nearly lost everything before his real career had even started. The television network NBC signed him to a sitcom deal at his lowest point, and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air turned him into a household name across the the entire planet. What followed was one of the most calculated and disciplined Hollywood careers ever assembled. He studied the box office with the precision of a scientist, identifying the patterns behind the biggest films of each summer and deliberately placed himself inside those patterns. Independence Day, Men in Black, Ali, The Pursuit of Happyness, Hitch, I Am Legend. He became the global movie star, the safest commercial bet in the business, the man studios called when they needed guaranteed returns. He was nominated for 2 Academy Awards and built a production empire alongside his wife, Jada, that gave their family a level of creative and financial control that very few entertainers ever achieve. Then came the night of March 27, 2022, at the 94th Academy Awards, in front of 1 billion television viewers around the world. Will Smith walked onto the stage and slapped presenter Chris Rock across the face after Rock made a joke about Jada's shaved head. The room went silent. The internet exploded. And in those few seconds, something broke that has proven very, very difficult to repair. He won the Best Actor Oscar for King Richard that same evening and gave a tearful speech that the audience mostly sat through in stunned silence. He was banned from attending the Academy Awards for 10 years. Studios that had been partnering with him quietly stepped back. Projects were delayed, shelved, or restructured. The most reliable box office star of his generation had become almost overnight someone that Hollywood did not quite know what to do with. The comeback attempt has been slow, painful, and relentlessly complicated. Bad Boys, Ride or Die with Martin Lawrence came out in 2024 and was a genuine hit commercially, proving that audiences would still show up for Will Smith if the product was right. He threw himself into music, releasing his first album in 20 years and going on a world tour called Based on a True Story in 2025, which brought genuine excitement from fans who had missed the lighter, more playful side of him. He filmed the Nat Geo travel series Pole to Pole, trekking from the South Pole to the North Pole and nearly dying during an underwater dive beneath Arctic ice, a moment he recounted on The Tonight Show with the kind of self-aware humor that reminded everyone exactly why the world fell in love with him in the first place. He signed a major new multi-film deal with Paramount Pictures. It's one of the biggest studios in the world, signaling that the industry was ready to give him another chance. It genuinely appeared, for a while, that the man had threaded the needle, that he had absorbed the consequences, done the work, and was finding his way back. And then, on the last day of 2025, a new lawsuit landed. Brian King Joseph, a talented violinist who had appeared on America's Got Talent and whom Smith had personally invited to join his 2025 tour, filed a $3 million lawsuit alleging sexual harassment, wrongful termination, and retaliation. The allegations, which Will Smith's legal team categorically and forcefully denied as false, baseless, and reckless, claimed a pattern of inappropriate behavior during the tour. Smith reportedly found out about the lawsuit and was, in the words of those close to him, absolutely beside himself, convinced the claims were untrue but fully aware of the damage they could do to a reputation that was only just beginning to recover. The timing could not have been more brutal. The Paramount deal, announced only 4 months earlier as the foundation of his professional rebirth, suddenly sat in a more uncertain light. Projects in the pipeline faced new questions, and on a personal level, sources say the new crisis placed enormous strain on his already complicated relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. The two have been separated since 2016, a fact that Jada revealed publicly in 2023, but have remained legally married, living separately while maintaining a connection that neither of them has been able to fully define or end. By early 2026, insiders were suggesting the lawsuit might finally push Jada to make a permanent decision about the marriage. They were photographed together in Paris in late January 2026, walking in matching black outfits, presenting a unified front to the world. Whether that unity reflects genuine partnership or careful image management, nobody outside their inner circle can say with certainty. What is certain is this: Will Smith, at 57, is fighting on every front simultaneously, legally, professionally, personally, and publicly. He has rebuilt his life from financial ruin before,